Since I'm now reviewing both Prey and Alien Romulus, it's kind of a bummer that I don't have both Funko Pops. Well, I technically have the Alien Romulus Funko Pop, and this is the only Funko Pop I have of the Alien franchise, but I don't know why it's taking them 3 years to make these Funko Pops, because the movie was out 3 years ago on Hulu, but I'm gonna add them to my collection. Even though I literally have no room to place new Funko Pops. Yeah, that's gonna be a big problem. But with that being said, hello everyone, welcome back to another double movie review on the channel. So I'm a bit late on making a review on Alien Romulus, but I guess I'm also 3 years late on making a review for Prey, unless I did a quick review for my movie reaction, as I have covered a movie reaction for Prey, while I covered a movie vlog for Alien Romulus. As that was basically the first time I ever watched an Alien movie in theaters. Well, the first Alien movie I ever watched was Alien Covenant, although I'm going to talk about my experience with that when I review Alien vs. Predator 1 to 2, Prometheus, and Covenant, because that review I'm a bit late on making. I wanted to have that out when we had gotten Predator Kill of Killers earlier this summer, but it's a good thing I did not post my Predator quadruple movie review, as we're getting a new Predator movie later this November, as it's been 8 years since we've had a new Predator movie in theaters. And I just realized, Predator Badlands is going to be the first Predator movie I watch in theaters. Well, I would say the first Predator movie I had watched was either the original or most likely the Predator that came out in 2018. Which was also the last Predator movie we had in theaters, and that movie did a lot of damage to this franchise. But it seems like once Disney bought Fox back in 2019, they have revived both franchises back from the dead. But yeah, you'll know my thoughts on Predator 1 to 4 once we get Badlands in November. As for my other quadruple movie review, I'm a bit late on making. I'm gonna have that out sometime this month, hopefully. But yeah, with that being said, let's get on with my thoughts on both Prey and Alien Romulus. So to give you a quick background history I have with both the Alien and Predator franchise, I guess I became aware of them around like the end of 2016 when we got the trailer for Alien Covenant. But yeah, I was not into the Alien movies until I had recently checked out all of them in preparation for Alien Romulus, and I'm surprised I had a quick 180, if that's the right term I'm using. Basically, I switched from not being into these movies to, oh, I'm officially a fan of these movies, although I'm still not a fan of them xenomorphs, so Team Predator all the way. And I guess I became aware of the Predator franchise around 2018, but I remember watching the first Alien vs. Predator movie, and as I mentioned, screw them xenomorphs, Team Predator all the way. Even though these Predators are kind of bad, well not kind of, they are bad guys, but there have been times where they've been good, and these guys can hunt you down for sport. Well, it's better than having a facehugger impregnate you with a goddamn xenomorph in your chest. But before I can talk about my thoughts with Alien Romulus, let's talk about my thoughts with Prey. So yeah, this was the first Predator movie that was going to be made under Disney once they bought Fox in 2019. And since they were aware of the damage the last Predator film had done to the franchise, they didn't want to risk having another box office flop, so they dumped Prey onto Hulu, which they now know was a big mistake, knowing how much of a big success it ended up turning out to be. And of course, as I mentioned, I covered a movie reaction for Prey, and I ended up really enjoying it. And originally, Alien Romulus was also supposed to go onto Hulu, but once Disney saw how much of a big fumble they made with dumping Prey onto Hulu, oh no, we don't want to have this on streaming, we gotta post this into theaters, we made a big mistake dumping Prey onto a streaming service. This could have ended up being a box office success. And not only am I glad that they learned their lessons and put Alien Romulus into theaters, but also done the same thing with the next Predator movie. Although we did get a new Predator movie on Hulu, which I think that could have done well at the box office, but I guess they needed something for their streaming service. Still, either way, I'm glad that we're going to be getting a new Predator movie in theaters, as I'm insanely excited for Predator Badlands, especially after watching Killer of Killers. Because that movie dethroned the original for being the best Predator movie in the franchise. Unless Predator Badlands takes the #1 spot. I don't know. I'd say I had Predator at #1 until I saw Killer of Killers, and I'm like, holy shit. This is easily the best Predator movie of all time. Well, I think Prey is at #2 or 3rd in my ranking list if I were to only rank the Predator movies, but I have a ranking list of both Alien and Predator films on my Letterboxd, which I'll link description down below. But yeah, let's get on with my thoughts on Prey that was released on Hulu 3 years ago. And thank freaking God I took notes on Letterboxd for both Prey and Alien Romulus. Also, just know it's been a year since I've watched both movies, so in case if you hear me say it's been 2 years, even though it's been 3 years as of right now, the last time I had watched Prey was around August 22nd, 2024. Oh, I guess that would technically make it 2 years, because it hasn't been 3 years yet. Well, whatever, let's get on with my thoughts on Prey, shall we? It's been 2 years since I've watched Prey, and my God, it's still rules. This was the best Predator movie until Killer of Killers that came around, but that's not to diss on this movie, because both this movie and that movie were directed by the same director who is directing Predator Badlands later this fall. And I am very happy with what he's been cooking up with these Predator movies, and I want him to direct 10 more movies, please. But also, this is 10 times better than the last Predator movie we had gotten, which was about 6, almost 7 years ago, and that be The Predator. But what I loved about this movie was that they go back to basics, as the time period is set in Prey is technically a prequel, but not fully connected to the first movie in terms of characters, but still, this is the same universe as it's the 5th movie in the series, but as a prequel instead. But I really dug the new Predator in this movie, which is called the Feral Predator, and I don't know which Predator looks uglier, the Mega Predator from Predators, or this one in Prey, but I love this Predator's helmet, and it might be my favorite Predator if I'm being honest. But I did like the lead actress in this movie, who, I'm gonna say this right off the bat, I did not think that we'd ever see this character again. I know there's fans that want a sequel to this movie, but having to see her make a quick cameo appearance at the end of Killer Killers, like spoilers. Oh yeah, I am happy we're going to be seeing this character again. Whether it's going to be a sequel to Killer Killers or a proper sequel to Prey. Either way, we're going to be seeing Naru again in the Predator franchise. Also, I find it seriously dumb that people have called this movie woke because the lead character is a female. Y'all did not have an issue with Ripley being the main character for almost all the Alien movies, well, mainly the first 4. Plus, Naru was a badass in this movie, and I did like her brother, who sadly was not in the movie much. If you know, you know. Actually, why am I saying that? It's been 3 years since this movie just came out. I'm gonna dump spoilers, so if you're not seeing it, womp womp, you should have already seen it. This movie is great. The reason I say he's not in it much is because he's killed by the Feral Predator, mainly at, like, the middle part, or close to the ending of the movie, which was a bummer. I felt bad about that. But hey, at least Naru avenged her brother. But I got 2 favorite scenes in mind from Prey. One where the Predator is taking out a bunch of the French dudes in the forest covered with fog, as the kills are brutal in this movie. As for the third act, oh my god, it rolls! Only cons I have are probably the CGI for the blood, as I can see why it's a complaint since it's overused a lot. But if I had to give a huge negative for this movie, it's that this was dumped on a streaming service, as this was meant for the big screen! As I mentioned earlier, I'm glad Alien Romulus got the theatrical release and didn't get dumped on a streaming service as originally planned, but I'm gonna be upset that this was dumped on a streaming service because Disney was worried that this wouldn't do well at the box office, all because of how the last film had basically damaged the brand and almost killed the franchise. Wait a minute, I basically already said that earlier in this video. But I do hope we get a sequel to Prey, but we are getting another Predator film soon titled Badlands, which is set before Prey, so another prequel we are getting, but I hope it goes straight to theaters and doesn't get dumped on a streaming service like Prey did. Well, thank God for that, as I had this written about a year ago almost, and little did I know we'd be getting 2 Predator movies a year later, one for streaming and one going to theaters. Also, I think I might have gotten my wish of seeing Naru again later, whether that's going to be in a sequel for Killer Killers or Prey. Either way, she's going to be coming back, which I'm very excited about. I give this a 10 out of 10, but since it was dumped on a streaming service, it's a 9 out of 10. But with Predator and Alien going back to the big screen, and small, sorry Prey, there's just one thing I want from Disney, and that is, give me another Alien vs. Predator movie! Even the director for Alien Romulus said he had a pitch for it! I need one badly! I will buy 10 tickets for it! But yeah, those are my overall thoughts with the movie Prey that was released on Hulu 3 years ago. This movie is definitely one of the best Predator films we've gotten so far, and yeah, I can't wait to see Naru again sometime later down the line, whether it's gonna be in a... Hopefully, I'm hoping we get a sequel to Killer Killers, which is looking likely thanks to the movie's cliffhanger ending, or post-credit scene. Can I call it a post-credit scene? It's a bit of both, honestly. But yeah, the director's on a winning streak here, going on 3 for 3 with Prey, Killer Killers, and now Badlands, which, whoa, I'm very tempted to make a Predator costume. But now let's talk about my thoughts on Alien Romulus. So around the time the movie was coming out, I had been hearing nothing but huge praise for this film, and I find it funny that I'm now into the series, as I had watched all Alien and Predator films in preparation, as the first movie I saw in the Alien series was Alien Covenant, which was released back in 2017. But since this movie is taking place in between both the first and second Alien films, I say we got ourselves a good sci-fi horror Alien trilogy with Alien, Alien Romulus, and then Aliens. Because there's no way in hell I'm counting Alien 3 and Resurrection, since those movies are absolute dog shit. Well, mainly number 3. I kind of had fun with number 4, but 3 pissed me off if you've seen my quadruple movie review on Alien 1 to 4. But Alien Romulus takes the number 1 spot for being the best horror movie of 2024 for me, as it's actually on my top 10 list. I really enjoyed this movie. It had great special effects, good jump scares, and that third act that everyone has been hyping up about, oh my god, I was not prepared, and after seeing what went down, I think I'm gonna have nightmares for it. Which is funny to say because it's now been a year since this movie was released, and I've still not gotten nightmares for it! How the hell have I not gotten nightmares from any of the Alien movies? I was worried of getting nightmares once I saw Alien Covenant around Christmas of 2017, and once I saw that ugly, disfigured looking hybrid of a xenomorph, like I kid you not, as soon as it showed up on screen, my jaw dropped on the ground, cause what I saw was absolute nightmare fuel. I have seen this movie twice as of right now, in theaters, one in IMAX and one in standard, and it's been about a year since I've watched this movie in theaters. How the hell have I not gotten nightmares from that thing? Cause, oh my god! I probably shouldn't have spoiled that, but if you've not seen this movie and you're gonna watch it for the first time, thinking you're gonna handle watching whatever nightmare fuel goes down the third act, trust me, you're not mentally prepared for what goes down in that third act, cause it is batshit crazy. I feared I got lucky when I didn't get nightmares from Alien Covenant, but after what I just saw, I don't know how the hell I'm gonna go to sleep tonight! As that was my thought process when I came back home after watching Alien Romulus in IMAX. But seriously though, I don't know how the hell I have also gotten lucky on not getting nightmares from this movie, because that shit is straight up terrifying. But I did like the small cast in this movie, and apparently from 3C Films' review, this film is a celebration of all the Alien movies that came before, which I can appreciate knowing that. Although there's one CGI that might be a turnoff for me, as I was shocked to hear how they pulled that off using AI, which is leaving a very poor taste in my mouth, so I'm a little mixed about that part in the movie. Which would be Disney bring back a dead actor from the first film, which would be one of those androids. And I disapprove of any AI being used for filmmaking. But overall, I really enjoyed Alien Romulus, and I would be down if they end up making a sequel because Callie and David carried this movie. But you wanna know what else I'd be down for? A new Alien vs. Predator movie! Anyways, I'm between a 9 or a 10 out of 10, but I could honestly give this a 9 out of 10 knowing how they used AI to bring back a dead actor for this movie, which is leaving a huge poor taste in my mouth. But there have been talks of making a sequel to Alien Romulus, which, hell yeah, baby! But yeah, I had a blast watching an Alien movie in theaters, and I look forward to having a blast in the theater watching Predator Badlands once it hits in theaters November 7th, 2025. But with that being said, those are just my thoughts on both Prey and Alien Romulus. You could stream both movies on Disney Plus/Hulu, because Hulu is included with Disney Plus. But yeah, I highly recommend checking out both Prey and Alien Romulus, as they're both great movies in their own ways. And if you have seen both movies, which one do you prefer? Prey or Alien Romulus? Definitely let me know your thoughts, comments down below, and if I had to pick which one I enjoyed the most, I'm kinda mixed. I'm honestly back and forth, because I really enjoy Prey, but I also had a lot of fun with Alien Romulus. But stay tuned for the rest of my review series, which would be my Alien vs. Predator 1-2, Prometheus, and Alien Covenant review, and then my Predator quadruple review later this November when Badlands comes out. As always, hope you guys enjoyed this double movie review. Happy 1 year anniversary to Alien Romulus, and as always, I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.